Mega Man 19. Chapter 3. Trial by Fire. The sky above Mainframe City was alight with streaks of orange and red, a stark contrast to the cool blue tones that usually define the digital world. Flames licked the rooftops of buildings, smoke bellowed into the air, and panicked citizens ran for safety. In a distance, the source of the chaos loomed, a towering figure with a fiery crown and glowing molten hands. It was Fireman. Mega Man sprinted through the streets with Rush bounding alongside him, keeping pace effortlessly. The robot dog barked once, his ears swiveling as he scanned their surroundings. "Yeah, I see it, Rush," Mega Man muttered, his voice tinged with frustration as he adjusted the heavy gauntlet on his arm. The weight of his newly acquired Gutsman enhancement still felt unfamiliar, and he couldn't shake the sense that he was out of his depth. "We just took down Gutsman," he continued. He glanced at Rush. "And now this guy, Fireman, I barely even know what I'm doing here," he muttered. Rush barked in response, a sharp, almost astonished sound. Mega Man sighed, running a hand over his helmet. Okay, I get it," he said, a small grin tugging at the corner of his mouth. "I've got to keep it together, you're right," he told the dog. The duo skidded to a halt as they reached the edge of the burning district. Fireman stood in the center of the chaos, his flaming hands raised high as he sent waves of fire cascading towards the fleeing programs. "This city will burn to ash!" Fireman bellowed, his voice crackling with a roaring inferno. "Dr. Wily's reign will begin with your destruction!" he roared. Mega Man clenched his fists. "Not on my watch," he said. He turned to Rush, crouching down to meet his companion's glowing eyes. "Alright, buddy, this one's gonna have to be tough. You've got to work together, just like we do with Gutsman. I'll handle the heavy hits, but I'll need you to keep me moving. Think you can do that?" he asked. Rush barked once, as he wagged his tail, as if to respond to him saying that he's got his back. Mega Man then stood tall. "Good. Let's do this," he said. The pair of them then bolted forward, dodging over debris and leaping over pools of molten data left in Fireman's wake. As they closed the distance, Fireman turned, his fiery gaze looking onto them. "So, the little blue hero has come to play," Fireman sneered. "Let's see if you can handle the heat," he chuckled. Fireman thrust his hands forward, unleashing a torrent of flames. Mega Man dove to the side, narrowly avoiding the inferno, while Rush started in the opposite direction, drawing Fireman's attention. "Over here, hothead!" Mega Man shouted, firing a burst of energy from his gauntlet. The blast struck Fireman's shoulder, but the flames surrounding him absorbed much of the impact. Fireman just laughed, and sound echoed like a crackling bonfire. "You have to do better than that!" he chuckled. Mega Man gritted his teeth. He had power, but he still wasn't used to the enhancements from Gutsman. His movements felt slower, heavier even, and Fireman's relentless attacks weren't giving him any room to breathe. Rush barked, zipping past Fireman and nipping at his heels. The distraction was enough to make Fireman stumble, giving Mega Man a brief opening. "Good job, Rush!" Mega Man called out, charging his gauntlet for a stronger attack. He fired a larger blast, aiming for Gutman's chest. The blast hit its mark, and Fireman staggered back. The flames surrounding him flickered, but the victory was short-lived. Fireman just roared, and his fiery hands ignited with renewed intensity. "You'll pay for that, Mega Man!" he growled, slamming his fists onto the ground. A wave of fire erupted in all directions, forcing Mega Man and Rush to leap back. Mega Man landed hard, the impact jarring his already strained muscles. He looked down at Rush, who stood protectively in front of him, growling at Fireman. I can't keep up like this," Mega Man admitted, frustration bubbling in his chest. I've got the power, but I'm just too slow. I need to think. Use my head," he told himself. He glanced at Rush, an idea sparking in his mind. "Rush, I need a lift," he told him. Rush barked and transformed into his hoverboard form. Mega Man jumped onto his back and added the speed and agility, giving him a new edge. Together they weaved through Fireman's attacks, dodging the flames and closing the distance. "Let's cool him off," Mega Man shouted, charging his gauntlet. Rush barked in agreement, launching him into the air. Mega Man fired a charged shot at the base of Fireman's flames, aiming for his power core. The blast connected and Fireman let out a roar of pain. The flames around him sputtered and he fell to his knees, sparks flying from his damaged systems. Mega Man dismounted Rush, approaching the fallen Fireman cautiously. He placed a hand on Fireman's shoulder and the gauntlet glowed brightly as it absorbed the defeated program's energy. A flash of light enveloped Mega Man, and when it faded, his armor had changed once again. His new enhancement glowed with fiery orange accents, and his gauntlet emitted a faint warmth, signifying his newfound ability to wield fire. Bob then arrived just in time as the flames began to subside, his face a mixture of relief and admiration. "You did it, Mega Man! You saved the district," Bob told him. Mega Man nodded, though his gaze remained on the smouldering wreckage of the fight. "We did it," he corrected, looking down at Rush. "I couldn't have done it without my partner," he grinned. Rush barked, wagging his tail proudly. As they started to walk back, Bob hesitated. "Mega Man, I didn't mention this before because you needed to focus, but there is a way you can return to the real world," he said cautiously. Mega Man froze, his eyes widened beyond his visor. "Wait, what? How?" he asked. Bob simply folded his hands. "The gauntlet has a recall function. If you activate it, you can leave the cyber realm and return to where you came from," he explained. For a moment, Mega Man was silent, the weight of the revelation settling over him. "So, I can just go back and find Ruby?" Mega Man asked. "Yes, but there's a catch. If you leave, you must promise to return. Mainframe City needs you, Mega Man. Dr. Wily won't stop, and you're the only one who can stop him," Bob replied. Mega Man looked down at Rush, who barked as if urging him to think carefully. Finally, Mega Man nodded. "I promise I'll come back, but I have to make sure Ruby's okay first," Mega Man pleaded. Bob smiled. "That's all I needed to hear. When the time comes, the gauntlet will guide you back," Bob told him. As they walked away from the smouldering battlefield, Mega Man's resolve hardened. He would return to the real world, find Ruby, and then come back to finish what he started. The battle for Mainframe City was far from over.